Welcome to another episode of Gully Cricket to Bounce Wicket podcast. I'm your host Srinivas.
And this is Manoj.
It's IPL time, Manoj. So on a scale of 10 to 10, how excited are you?
I'm very excited. 10 on 10, you could say that, because this is a great gift for all the fans after this pandemic. It's great to have an event like APL, which will bring happiness on the faces of the people.
Definitely, Manoj. Yeah, before we start the episode, I would like to say to our audience that we preferably, try and make 2 episodes per week so that we can cover as much as possible, because covering, all the matches in a week of maybe 7 or 8 matches in a single episode, we may not justify. So we thought we'll make 2 episodes per week, and mostly episodes will be coming on Sunday or Monday, and like something like midweek again, Wednesday and Thursday. Hope you guys like our episode. So coming into the season opener, Manoj, RCB and MI. So probably this is the latest biggest rivalry, we can say, because always there is a, if not personally, there is a rift between Rohit and Virat among the fans especially. So RCB versus MI will be biggest rivalry maybe for next few years, if you ask me. And yeah, coming into the game, basically RCB won the toss surprisingly. Kohli took a break. He himself joked on him winning the toss, basically saying I took a break and then it all worked out. So yeah, to everyone's surprise, Kohli won the toss and elected to bowl. Obviously, we all know that in T20s, batting second is gold. Like there is nothing better than that. So coming to squads, RCB, I think Padikkal was rested because he was recovering from COVID. He recovered from COVID and joined the squad, but still, I think rest was advised to him. And Rajat has joined the squad. And to everyone's surprise, again, Harshal Patel has started ahead of Saini. So best death overs bowler for RCB, if you ask me. And they surprised everyone. Yeah, coming to MI squad. Quinton de Kock was not available for selection, and Chris Lynn was given chance. And another surprise here is Marco Anson. We all know at some point this guy is going to play, because after auctions, Jahir Khan spoke about this guy and how surprised they are when there were no bids for this guy. And kudos to my talent scout team.
Yeah, like I was saying, I think some of the important players from both sides, they were missing. Quinton de Kock obviously was coming from Pakistan tour. I think that's the reason why they didn't pick him as well. So I think both the teams were equally matched on that particular day.
Yeah, Manoj, going into the match, Rohit Sharma, if you ask me, looked a little rusty to start with, and just when he was looking to get into groove, he got run out, unfortunately. And we all know what Surya Kumar Yadav is capable of doing in middle overs, and Chris Lynn has exploded for the chance that he has been given. So Chris Lynn and Surya Kumar Yadav accelerated the innings and made sure MI was at 86 for 1 at the end of 10 overs and set to get a big score. So Manoj, at this stage of the match, so what were your thoughts? Where did you think they'll end up at the end of 20 overs, considering their big batting lineup and Surya Kumar Yadav and Chris Lynn are still playing?
Mumbai started off really well. Rohit especially looked in fine touch. Unfortunate that he got out. Though, I mean, it was, I would say I would put the blame on Chris Lynn. For that single. By the end of the 10th over, they were around, I think, 86 for 1. It looked like they were set to get about maybe 190, 200 with the firepower that they had in the middle order. Kieron Pollard and Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, the Pandya brothers coming in. So, but they ended up with 159. Thanks to the brilliant bowling by the RCB. I really didn't expect that.
Even going forward from there, RCB, I think, has surprised everyone, right? Even though Chahal went for runs, likes of Siraj, Sundar, Kyle Jamieson bowled really well in the middle overs, and they kept Mumbai at check. Like Mumbai at one stage were 128 for 3, going from 86 at the end of 10th over. They were at just 128 at the end of 15th over. And especially, Ishan Kishan and Hardik Pandya are at Greece. And at this stage, what were your thoughts again? So 128 for 3. Mumbai is at 16th over with Ishan and Hardik at Greece.
Yeah, I mean, they did really well. Like I said, tremendous death over bowling by Harshal Patel. He was mixing up with the slow balls, back of the hand balls. So I think credit to the way they bowled. If not, they would have got easily 200 in my opinion.
Yeah, I was very sad that Harshal Patel has played really well. You know why?
Why?
Because I haven't picked him in my fantasy league.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite unexpected, and who would imagine that Harshal Patel is going to take a 5-wicket haul? And I think credit to the RCB management there. Like he also mentioned in the post-match presentation that they have given him that role. Like right from the day he was traded from Delhi, he was told that you are going to be our death overs bowler. I mean, that role clarity has definitely helped him. Going into RCB's batting, like we discussed, Padikkal was not there. So Sundar has opened the innings with Virat. And I think they got a decent start before just losing 2 wickets by the end of power play. Probably to accelerate the innings in the middle overs and to have, if you ask me, a psychological advantage. ABD has not come and Maxwell has come for 2 down. And Virat and Maxwell had a decent partnership of 50 runs before Kohli departed to a Bumrah special in the 13th over, leaving RCB at 99 for 3. Manoj, what are your thoughts on RCB's batting or how they have started the innings?
I think they didn't get enough runs on the board, in my opinion, in the power play. I think it was a surprise that Sundar opened with Kohli. I thought they will open with Rajat, but it didn't happen. So I think when you're chasing 160 or 150 plus scores, I think you should have a good power play. But I think Maxwell came in and really made sure that there were not many runs at the end for the others to score. I think ABD at the back end did what he does best, the best T20 player as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I mean, I would say a few more runs in the power play would have made a job easy for the middle order and the batsman coming later.
Yeah, definitely, Manoj. And one glaring point that we can't miss addressing is Kohli's struggle against spin. We have seen that in the England series, and I think I'm not sure what happened to Virat, because when he was batting in power play, he was striking at 140 against fast bowlers. Immediately when the spinners have come, his strike rate has fell down to 110. I think when he got out, his strike rate was at 113. Thanks to Maxwell, at least he accelerated the innings in between. Otherwise, they would have been in much bad situation. And like everyone was waiting for Maxwell to come and see when he's going to hit the 6, because for the entire last season he haven't hit a 6. It's good that he came back, and he came back very strongly. And yeah, moving on, I think one mention that we have to do here is for Sundar. So Sundar, like you said, has came for opening, and I felt he mistimed many balls. Maybe first time he's coming, for opening. I think we all know he has a great talent. Probably it may take some time, or Padikkal is back in the team. He may not come for opening again, or there is no need. So yeah, they have tried something. Especially, I think it's a good try, because your regular opener is not there and you don't have a mountain of target. At least, yeah, the target is also, I think, 158, 159. I think it's good time to try it, especially at the beginning of the tournament. But yeah, it haven't worked out. Like I mentioned, thanks to Maxwell for the middle over runs. ABD with his experience ensured that, match is not going away from RCB hands and kept required run rate in check, right? After 38 overs in the game, it all boiled down to, just 2 overs against best of the best. So 19 required now from 12 balls. Bumrah bowling to ABD. So what were your thoughts on this, Manoj?
I think had ABD not scored around, I think 12 or 13 runs were scored off Bumrah's over, right?
Right.
Had he not scored those runs, it would have been really uphill task for RCB, considering that there'll be too much for the last over. No one else would have scored or would have done this for RCB. I think it's a strategic move from RCB side to move ABD down the order so that Maxwell can come and do the damage, and if required, ABD can finish it. So he did his job very well in finishing this match. Although he was not there till the end, though it was a nail-biting finish, he did his job.
Definitely, Manoj. And considering that ABD haven't played any competitive cricket, for 5 months after last IPL, this is the first competitive game that he's playing, and the way he has played shows his class. And why, we call him Mr. 360, the range of shots that he has, and the way he scored the runs, especially against Bumrah, or in fact, the previous over to Bumrah, I think 17th over or 18th over. Yeah, 18th over against Trent Bolt. Amazing batting, right?
True. No words to describe ABD's skills, the way he maneuvers the ball. He was playing lofted shots over extra cover. Really, a player of his class, it doesn't take too much time to get back into the groove. The class of the man. The first match itself, he's shown how good he is, even though he didn't play competitive cricket, like you said, for the last 5 months. Amazing.
And a word here on two bowling specials from Mumbai team, Marco Anson and Kurnal Pandya. This young, Marco Anson, he's 20 years old and his idol is AB de Villiers. And bowling to him, imagine bowling to him in the final over of, tournament opener. And I think he bowled beautifully and he nearly took the Mumbai team to home, right? Krunal Pandya also, he bowled 4 overs. He gave only 25 runs and he took a wicket. And in a tight game like this, I think those Krunal Pandya's 4 overs are gold. What are your thoughts on Mumbai's bowling, Manoj?
He's been that kind of bowler for Mumbai. He's very street smart. He doesn't give you a lot of room. He doesn't flight the ball. So everything's he's bowling to the wicket. So he's that kind of bowler. So I think kudos to Krunal. He kept the bowling really tight and complemented the other bowlers. I wish he had another over. It would have got even close, even tight for RCB.
Definitely, Manoj. Yeah. So let's move on to our second match, CSK versus DC. Both are my favorite teams. So, I was literally struggling which team to support when this match was going on. So for CSK, Lungi Ingidi was in quarantine. He was not available to play. And Josh Hazelwood has pulled out of the tournament last minute and they have signed off Jason Behrendorff. And he's playing in Australia for March Cup finals today, basically, which is Sunday. So, and he may not be available for next 2 or 3 matches due to quarantine protocols and whatever. So yeah, the obvious pick for them in the foreign fast bowler is Bravo. There is not much of surprises in CSK selection. Of course, Dhoni had probably with the squad they have, they must be having a jillion playing 11s that they can pick from the squad they have. But I think they came up with a good squad. If you ask me, it's balanced and they can bat deep. Coming to DC's playing 11. We all know Rabada and Nokia are in quarantine coming from ODI series from Pakistan. And to everyone's surprise, they picked Avesh Khan. And they picked him ahead of Umesh and Ishant also. He had a decent Shahid Mustaq Ali, no denying on that. So what are your thoughts on CSK and DC squad, Manoj?
I think they picked the best players that they had. I think as you rightly pointed out, pretty surprised to see Avesh Khan, but he repaid the faith that the management had in him. Looking at his performance, it was amazing. I think CSK also missed out some. It's unfortunate that Hazelwood has opted out and Ingidi is not available. But on the paper, at least they are a very good side. They have very good bowling, and also they bat deep as well. Coming to DC, I think unfortunate that Shreyas is not available. And also Rabada, Nokia. These players were not available, but yeah, I think they picked the best side. Okay, so now let's start with CSK's innings. They have scored 188 in their 20 overs, which is not a bad score at all. On that pitch, 188 on any day is a very competitive target. So, how do you think they have played? The opening didn't go well, but then they recovered and they got to 188. So, what are your thoughts on their batting?
Yeah, Manoj, like you mentioned, they haven't got a good start, but thanks to Moeen Ali and Suresh Raina, they have stayed the innings very well. I think they started exploding just before the end of power play, and they haven't got much runs in the power play. They got only 33 of the first 6 overs, which is almost like run rate of 6, and after that they have exploded, man. Moeen Ali, I think he did what he was supposed to do. In fact, Reina also, and it was big surprise for me seeing Reina to explode. Maybe he used to play like this. What 5 6 years back? I haven't seen him played in last 2 3 years like this, free flowing runs and hitting sixes. And I think Moeen was sent ahead, like in the top of the order, definitely to get those runs in the middle overs. If you ask me, I think he did an amazing job. I think he has done his role. One side, Avesh Khan and Chris Wokes are choking, and they took on Ashwin. Ashwin is not an easy bowler to take on, but Moeen Ali and Suresh Raina, in fact, Raidu also played a very good cameo in between. And if you see the scorecard, no, like every batsman in the middle order, like Moeen Ali, Raina, Raidu, Jadeja, like all four of them has strike rate of close to 150. You cannot ask a better strike rate from the middle over batsmen, right? 150 they are getting, and all it came down to is Ravindra Jadeja and Sam Curran. It's deja vu moment of 2020, if you ask me. They have played a lot together and they have finished a lot of matches for CSK. Yeah, so as a whole, I think 188 was a good total on that pitch. Not a bad. Like they have something to defend, and it's I think it's little above a par score on that pitch. But yes, Q is coming, and CSK had death over bowler shot. They would have scored another 10-15 runs. They would have been much happier. But yes, 188 is a good score. And not to miss out Dhoni's wicket by Avesh Khan. And Avesh Khan is going to record it and play it in loop for his lifetime. I think what a big achievement of taking a Dhoni's wicket, and that one a second ball.
Yeah, unfortunate. Dhoni tried to pull and the ball was not there. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. A lot of Tale fans would have been expecting to see him, take the bowlers to the cleaners, but unfortunately not to be this time around.
And to me, Manoj, to be fair to Dhoni was not the Dhoni that we have seen anymore, right? I think Dhoni must also be knowing that. And if you ask me, he would have come little up in the order, or he would have taken a different role. Maybe try accelerating in the middle overs. I mean, he would have come ahead of Raidu. I don't know. Maybe they'll try a few in upcoming matches. And I don't think Dhoni can bat at 7 anymore. Right? He coming at 7. I don't know how far it is correct or how far it is going to advantage team for that matter. So yeah, let's hope that they are going to figure it out very soon. And coming to DC's bowling, they don't have their star bowlers, right? They don't have Rabada and Nokia. They were building the entire innings around both of them. Both of them will bowl 8 good overs, and other bowlers will come in and bowl few good overs. Unfortunately, they don't have them. But yeah, considering the ground, considering the pitch, I think their bowlers did a decent job, barring Ashwin, who went for runs. And I think it happens when other bowlers are choking. One or the other bowler is going to get smashed. So your thoughts on DC's bowling, Manu?
Yeah, I think Chris Wokes has been really exceptional with this. In his first spell of the match, he swung the ball, got the opening. He got Rutraj out. And then Avesh Khan, what a revelation! I mean, he's got the best figures in the complete match. And Tom Curran would really forget this match. I think he was taken to the cleaners by his own younger brother. So he would definitely forget this one.
I think Curran's mother would be very upset, right? The way the younger brother has treated in front of crowd to elder brother. It was
she can at least be happy for one of her sons.
No, I'm joking. So yeah,
barring Tom Curran and Ashwin, the others had a very good, I think, game, and they will have a lot of headache in picking the bowlers. DC, I think, for the upcoming matches.
Imagine, we all know that Ashwin is going to come back. And Rabada and Nokia and Avesh Khan, if he continues this form, I think the DC will be having a deadly bowling attack, right?
True. Yes, agree.
Yeah. So let's move on to DC's batting. And I'm very happy again in this match because Prithvi Shaw is my captain in Fantasy League. So what else should I ask? I was expecting he'll explode. I was definitely expecting, he was going to explode because the form that he was in. the way he scored runs in Vijay Hazare Trophy. So amazing, man. He has hit 72 of 38, and Shikhar Dhawan. So basically, I think if I remember correctly, maybe 2 episodes back or few episodes back, I have asked you whether this is end of Shikhar Dhawan, right? You said no, he's going to come back strongly, and I think
Correct.
Shikhar Dhawan is most underrated batsman, if you ask me, in the current generation. Right, every IPL he
True.
scores, and he utilized many of his Indian opportunities also. It's like I don't know what to say. Amazing, and I'm sure he don't like Australians at all. He's bashing CSK in yellow every time he's facing CSK. So Shikhar Dhawan has highest runs against CSK. Means highest runs by any batsman against CSK is for Shikhar Dhawan now. So I think in last IPL he even scored a century against Manninello. So someone has to remind him that they are not Australia. So let's hope someone from CSK will remind him. And
honestly speaking, I think the bowling was not penetrative enough from CSK. I'm not taking any credit away from the opening stand that DC had. I think the bowling wasn't really penetrative enough. I mean, had they picked early wickets and put the batting under pressure, because that Rishabh Pant and Stoinis, if they don't get going, obviously they will give the wicket away.
Yeah, definitely, Manoj. I think definitely an early wicket would have changed the entire scenario, if you ask me, because we don't know how Ajinkya Rahane is going to play, as one down batsman there. And I think there was a slight, there would have been little pressure on them had the wicket has fallen early, but there was no chance against, Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw. They got 65 runs in power play. CSK has got only 33 runs, and these guys have got 65 runs. And yeah, first wicket has come in 13th over, and they were at 138 chasing 189, and there is no looking back for them. Like, it's cakewalk for the batsmen that follow. So yeah, Rishabh Pant has come in. He got few runs. Good match practice that he has got, if you ask me. And Stoinis has got few runs. Hetmeyer has come, of course, in the end, thanks to Shardul Thakur's late strikes. But still, I think the match has gone from Chennai's hands much earlier. If you ask me, maybe 10th over, match has gone away from their hands. And yeah, like you mentioned, CSK's bowling has to be blamed completely for this. There may be a due factor, but definitely, I think even if CSK got another 20-30 runs, they would have chased. DC would have chased, right?
Correct. Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
I mean, just to come back to Prithvi Shaw's batting, I mean, what we've seen in Australia and what we are seeing here is the complete opposite, right? I mean, he was timing the ball. He was playing all around the wicket, offside, leg side. You could see that he's in brilliant form, man. I mean, this is what we know of Prithvi Shaw, and hope he will carry on, take this form, and also get picked for India and then play well.
Yeah, of course, this is a T20 World Cup year. And yeah, definitely, if he is going to continue his form in IPL, it's hard for selectors to not select him for the T20 World Cup, especially considering T20 World Cup, to be played in India. No doubt about it. And I think only bright spot for CSK in bowling, if you ask me, is Dwayne Bravo. So he bowled 4 overs. He gave only 28 runs and he took a wicket, which means that he gave only 7 runs in an over. Of course, I mean, see, we can see it in two ways. By the time Bravo has started bowling, probably he started like after 10th over, right? By the time match is completely with, DC, there is no need for them to take a risk or go against a bowler like Bravo, because he's the bowler with so many variations. And Prithvi Shaw is definitely, I don't say not capable, but he's not experienced enough to tackle so many variations, if you ask me, especially in a T20. But yeah, that could be one reason for his low economy, but still nothing to take away from him. It's the only bright spot that I see for their bowling. And another thing is Jadeja coming back. I was a little skeptical on Jadeja, like he's coming from a long break, long injury. So how he's going to perform? Right. I think he got few runs with the bat and he bowled 2 decent overs as well. So yeah, I think overall, if you see the first 2 matches, I would say these are usual start for any IPL. Mumbai losing the first match of the tournament, which is not bad for them, especially the
True,
fans,
true.
considering
It could be blessing
what
in
happened.
disguise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a blessing in disguise for them. Let's hope, and not every time the pattern repeats, right? Sometimes it can go anywhere. You never know that
True.
this may be, this may be the deciding thing when they had to qualify for the, qualifiers. You never know. But yeah, as a
Yeah,
whole,
yeah.
I think CSK has also a habit of losing early matches. So CSK lost, MI lost. I would say this is usual start. Not usual for RCB though, but good that RCB got a win in the beginning. So what are you looking forward?
I'm looking forward to some more exciting cricket, nail biting finishes. But talking about the first two matches, really, I would have liked MI to win the first match, but thanks. I mean, credit to RCB, and also, yeah, a little bit of fight from Chennai would have been really nice. But that's the way it goes. So yeah, really looking forward to some exciting cricket in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj. And that's all for the episode, guys. We'll catch up with you in the midweek episode again. And thanks for tuning in and thanks for listening our episodes. Let's all hope we are going to see an amazing cricket over next 7 weeks. And let's all hope all the players in your fantasy league and my fantasy league are also going to get good scores and give us good points. So that's all for the episode, guys. Thanks. Bye bye.